here's the deal. Maybe this isn't relevant to you, but you'd be surprised how many ambitious, maybe Christian, maybe people who are building businesses on the grind. I've seen this mentality completely change people who start to become a little bit successful. And so it's important for us to watch out for this mindset. All right. So this is a video I wanted to look at. It says luxury fashion is for broke people. Okay, from the Raised channel. All right, let's jump in.
The rich don't dress like you think they do. They aren't buying Gucci belts, Saint Laurent bags, or Versace robes. The middle class is. Take a look at these 3 bags. 2 are from Walmart and 1 is from Louis Vuitton. Can you tell which one is the luxury brand? Sure.
Please, can you tell which one it is, Zach?
I'm gonna guess the one with all the
Gucci logo,
the Louis
Vuitton,
the Louis Vuitton
all right.
logos all over
There's a plot twist coming.
It's easy when the LV logo is plastered all over it.
Yep.
But I lied. One of those other bags isn't from Walmart. It's actually a Birkin worth over $30,000.
Oh my goodness.
Mainstream luxury fashion brands have trained us to believe that branding is everything, when in reality, most high-end products are really only status symbols for those that can't afford it. Real luxury.
This man's dunking on
Status symbols for people who can't afford it.
Sheesh.
Hides in plain sight. If you've seen the show Succession, you're probably aware of how one character's featureless $625 cashmere hat helped popularize conversations regarding stealth wealth. While famous movie stars are often pictured in the regular designer brands that you've heard of, like Gucci and Balenciaga, many times they're paid to advertise it. The truly rich, that aren't constantly in the spotlight, have an entirely different kind of wardrobe, one based around minimalism, quality, and fit. For example, those plain gray t-shirts that Mark Zuckerberg wears, they are $400 custom made from Brunello Cucinelli, yet to most people, it looks like it could be from Target.
Ain't that funny?
Crazy.
Ain't that funny?
Yeah. Oh, super.
So you have folks who are attempting to flex on people with materialism and buying things they don't really need, that they can't really afford to impress people they don't really like.
Yeah.
With money they don't have.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like a logo is really only there for a picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a logo isn't inherently the thing that looks nicest about the article of clothing or the accessory. It's just the fact that it says something about how much that thing costs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not trying to be in pictures, you're extremely wealthy, you probably want something that's just really high quality, and you probably appreciate craftsmanship more. What a trip.
Yeah.
In fact, when the truly rich do wear traditional luxury brands such as Prada and Valentino, they have access to exclusive designs that hide their branding. When most people think of luxury items, they're often reminded of brands that have strong advertising and a recognizable logo or design. Whether that be a Rolex watch, a Lamborghini sports car, or Gucci flip-flops, they're all easily identifiable as luxurious. While billions of advertising dollars have been spent to ingrain that message into your mind, often they aren't the pinnacle of quality by any means. They are simply highly regarded as a status symbol.
And like that interesting that a lot of these items aren't always the best quality, yet people think they're buying quality when they're really just buying status.
What a trip. I saw this TikToker guy that goes through these conferences that are held by these Chinese manufacturers, and I don't know how he gets into them.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You've seen those? Yeah, but he's like, how much does it cost to make this? This is the exact blank that LV uses for their, and it's like $10.
Yep.
$5 a piece.
Many other animals on Earth, we place value on status symbols as they can project value upon ourselves. Male peacocks use their colorful feathers to attract a mate. Penguins collect pebbles to prove their worth, and thus humans purchase douchey luxury goods.
Douchey luxury goods.
Oof. It's all the same. Status symbols merely attempt to prove that their owner is valuable. The reason we don't see the ultra-rich like Jeff Bezos dripped out in Gucci is because we all know he's rich. He doesn't need to prove it. However, when you see your neighbor or coworker wearing a new designer outfit, you immediately begin to wonder about how they are able to afford it. Turns out, a lot of the time, they can't. In places with great income inequality, those people with lower incomes live under significant social stress. Their lower position in the social hierarchy is more obvious and more consequential. In response, some people purchase the kinds of goods that create the impression that they have money to spare, even when they don't. Researchers
Fake it to make it.
This is, not to go off the rails, it's kind of my issue with hype beast pastors. Because you're perpetuating this nonsense. Right? Instead of buying premium items that you like, that's going to hold up well based on the cut, right? You're buying stuff as a status symbol. And it's just not a good look because you're perpetuating this. And I remember going to some of these celebrity hype beast pastor churches and knowing some of the kids that would go to them. And these were kids that were like the typical like I have no money, I have nothing going for me, and like but I got the illest.
But I dress like the
fits.
pastor.
I dress like the pastor.
Eesh.
Yeah.
Examined Google search trends across the US and found that people in states with relatively high income inequality were more likely to search for luxury brands than those in other states. You can actually map this correlation, and you can see searches for luxurious brands like Ralph Lauren or items like fur vests have the same breakdown as did the map of income
Ain't that
inequality.
crazy? The highest income inequality has the highest searches for luxury brands.
It literally like matches up.
That's crazy, bro.
Despite what we think, that common luxury items are only purchased by the rich, it's actually the lower and middle class consumers that account for nearly half of the luxury goods market globally. People like to criticize those that overspend, yet they don't realize why people do it in the first place. For example, overpriced Air Jordan sneakers are popular amongst young African American men, including those from poor neighborhoods. Despite the fact that purchasing them might cause more financial stress, for many, it's considered a necessity. Critics of spending above your means on luxury items often fail to recognize the underlying effect that these luxury goods can have. For some, their status in society is insecure. Many people who are low income can't afford to appear like they are low income. It's hard to attract a romantic partner if you look like a broke loser, and good luck getting a good job if you show up at an interview looking like someone who's never had a good job before.
So I think this is why for followers of Jesus, I don't want to get into any legalistic arguments if it's wrong for you to have a Gucci belt or whatever. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's not the point of the video. Where do we get our status from? Where do we get our identity from?
Jesus.
Jesus, right? So if we
Jesus,
get our
Jesus,
if we get our identity from Jesus, then why would we fall for something like this? Now that doesn't mean you shouldn't want to dress nice and present yourself well.
Yes.
That does mean that if your identity is now, I got the Gucci backpack, I got the Louis Vuitton backpack, when the people you think are buying it don't even buy it, it doesn't mean what you think it means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
trip.
And so it's something that a lot of this could be prevented even if you're poor, but if your identity is rooted in Christ, you have no need to flex. You can shop within your means. You can buy nice things and take care of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think is a better allocation of funds? Let's say.
Well, I mean, I think primarily like get on a budget, get out of debt, have an emergency fund.
Yeah.
Do that, right?
Mhm.
And then if you want to go buy that luxury item because it makes you feel good, like that's different than like doing it out of scarcity and out of desperation to appear a certain way.
True. It also almost seems like it'd be probably be better to one, get out of debt, be more financially responsible, and then also spend money on things that can actually on skills, on learning skills, education, so that you can actually go make more money.
Yeah.
So that you're not just saving up for the one luxury item,
Right.
but you're actually creating some sort of bigger cash flow.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
if
You're getting at skill acquisition.
if entrepreneurship is more of your thing,
Right.
you know,
Right. Absolutely.
Most obvious proof that these luxury items act as a necessary status symbol for the middle class is the sheer number of counterfeits that exist. From New York's Canal Street to China's AliExpress, you'll find no shortage of logo-riddled items. Their quality is usually subpar at best, yet its demand continues to grow. The more extreme income inequality becomes, the more pressure people feel to create the impression that they are succeeding. When the COVID pandemic shut down nearly everything, it caused many middle-class folks to lose their jobs and place significant financial strain on the entire world. You'd think luxury spending would crash during a time of global financial uncertainty, yet the exact opposite happened. Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton, LVMH for short, is the French conglomerate that owns many brands such as Tiffany and Dior. Oddly enough, the last few years has been an incredible growth period for LVMH. Its market cap at one point crossed over $500 billion, and Bernard Arnault, CEO of LVMH, became the richest person alive with a net worth over $200 billion.
Now, okay, so here's my thing.
Whoa,
That's crazy.
that's nuts.
This man is almost what is that? Elon is at 184. By the way, Tesla is the biggest car company with bigger than the 9 bottom car companies combined. That's how much Tesla's worth.
That's nuts.
So think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Right? The number 1 company and then the number 9 beneath it combined, Tesla's still worth more than those. So the fact that this dude, who most of you guys have never heard of, I've heard of him because I've heard Kanye rant about him, Bernard Arnault, I've heard about him, right? But the fact that this dude is worth more than Elon Musk, more than Jeff Bezos, more than Warren Buffett, more than Bill Gates, right? It's a lot of names on there that most people have heard. It's crazy. And so then from a utilitarian standpoint, like, 1, a lot of people can't afford this stuff.
Yeah.
2, do you think that if you're a follower of Jesus, remove the consumeristic aspect of it, do you think his values are aligned with your values? Do you think he supports the things you support? Or do you think some of the things overflowing from these brands is actually in direct contradiction and they really don't like you, yet you keep blowing money on them?
Sheesh, that's a good point.
You know?
There's not a singular reason why this happened, but experts point to a few key findings that help tell the story. For one, studies continue to prove that income inequality causes both the rich to consume more luxury goods as they can afford to, but also that poor individuals similarly consume more as a means to present themselves as successful. Governments across the world also gave out stimulus checks during this period, and many people used it to buy luxury items. Perhaps it's because they didn't know what else to use it for, but studies show it's indicative of a cultural shift regarding how we view luxury. A study from Bain found that Gen Z consumers are starting to buy luxury items some 3 to 5 years earlier than millennials, at 15 years old versus around 18 to 20.
That's crazy that your generation is buying more luxury than my generation.
Don't do that to me.
And they're younger. I just never would have thought that.
Yeah.
You know?
That's nuts.
Gone are the days where luxury items were exclusively for the rich. Now, it's merely a savings goal for younger generations to eventually purchase these items. Buy now, pay later platforms like Afterpay and luxury resale sites like The RealReal offer even more ways for those financially insecure to partake in this illusion.
People have babies with no money all the time. And if you're so worried about it, why don't you stop buying designer clothes?
As younger generations increase their consumption of luxury goods, these products lose their value as a means to signal wealth. Even in The Simpsons, what was supposed to be a cartoon about a lower middle-class family has now done a collaboration with Balenciaga. It's clear that mainstream
That's
luxury fashion
amazing.
brands have begun shifting away from targeting the rich and instead towards advertising to the middle class. To rationalize their expensive price relative to quality, these luxury brands are careful to thread the needle between growth and scarcity. Many companies do limited production runs or even destroy their excess inventory to create scarcity.
Yuck.
Destroying, wasting stuff they've made because they don't want to put it on clearance so more people can afford them.
I've also heard Louis
It's
Vuitton.
not not going to TJ Maxx and Ross or Marshalls.
Yeah, and I've also heard that Louis Vuitton like doesn't they don't stock all the same things at every store.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you go into one store, if they don't have it, they don't have it.
Mhm.
And the next store, they might have it, they might not have it, and it creates like that sort of scarcity.
Yep.
That's nuts.
Luxury fashion items have some of the highest margins across all industries, and they keep it that way through projecting a false sense of exclusivity. The idea that luxury has been diluted by the middle class has resurfaced many discussions regarding two so-called factions of wealth: old money and new money. Old money would be someone like a member of the Walton family who famously founded Walmart, and new money would be someone like your uncle who apparently made millions buying Bitcoin. Being old money suggests a kind of generational familiarity to wealth that doesn't require someone to show it off, compared to new money, which suggests someone didn't grow up rich and has a need or desire to project their newfound wealth. This tension between old money and new money has existed forever, perhaps most famously explored in F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby.
Mm-hmm.
Social media, especially since the show's succession, seems to have really obsessed over the idea that old money is classy and new money is trashy, especially when it comes to how they dress. In the show, when luxury items were worn, they weren't from brands you probably ever heard of, and besides looking well fit and of high quality, they weren't anything unique. They are ridiculously expensive, but only other rich people would know. The show clearly suggests that old money has quiet luxury and new money lacks subtlety.
Oh, Pa, and everyone's laughing up their sleeves about your date.
What? Why?
Why? Because she's brought a ludicrously capacious bag.
What?
What's even in there? Huh?
When we think of mainstream luxury brands, the first thing that comes to mind is often clothing that has its logo plastered all over it, but most fashion brands such as Ralph Lauren or Gucci typically also have a secondary sub-brand or style that lacks any obvious signs of branding, while also being higher quality and more expensive. It's
Wow,
kind of like how
that's
tech
crazy.
subscriptions have evolved.
Watch
You
this.
can use the cheaper version with ads,
Look.
or pay for premium and get a higher quality ad-free experience.
That's it. That's the whole video. That's it. Listen to this verse. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 7 through 10. Right? It says, some people are poor. Some people who are poor pretend to be rich. Others who are rich pretend to be poor. Some people who are poor pretend to be rich. Others who are rich pretend to be poor.
This has been around for thousands of years.
Thousands of years, because people who really have it don't want you to know they really have it. And people who don't have it want to flaunt as if they do have it. Fake it till you make it. And so the fact that there are luxury brands, spinoffs of main name brands that are higher quality, and then he paralleled it to you can use this at a cheaper rate or for free with ads, or you can pay for the premium and use it without ads.
That's nuts. So it's like
crazy.
you're wearing the shirt with ads.
I'm wearing the shirt with ads.
You're wearing
bro.
your girl's got the bag with the ads on it.
Ads of a company that, if you're a follower of Jesus, probably hate your guts,
Eesh.
right?
Yeah.
And so this slides into a broader conversation about wealth creep, right? Income
creep.
creep, about not delaying gratification, about the need to flash and peacock, right? And the consumerism attached to it all.
Yeah.
That can directly get in the way of someone who is trying to build something of a legacy or build something for their life or do something different.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone that is trying to build wealth?
Yeah, lifestyle creep. Sorry, thank you for
Lifestyle creep. There you go. What would you say to the person that's like trying to build wealth and then maybe they also enjoy designer brands and they're Christian? Yeah.
I think the solution, believe it or not, is actually in finding things that are premium but not luxury brand. Right, so you could find items that are premium, but that are going to hold up longer.
Yeah,
right. That aren't luxury, that with logos all over it.
Totally.
And I said, if you want to buy nice stuff, there's nothing wrong with wanting nice stuff, especially from a waste standpoint. You're not, stuff isn't going and being sent to the waste mills and it's all that kind of stuff. So I'm not pushing for fast fashion either because I think that's trash. But I think buy premium. Like buy premium, that's not luxury, And so there's like that in between of like, yeah, it's not this, but it's a premium item that'll hold up well.
Yeah, I've noticed. I don't know. I've become, maybe it's the new dad in me that's just creeping in, but I've never wanted like expensive shoes. But over the past year, I would say, I've become adapted to this idea of like a good work boot. Like just a good like, and so I started going down this lane of boots and like American made boots and boots that with all these and it's like, and now I'm like into boots that are in the $300 to $500 range. And I used to think it was so corny that people would buy $300 to $500 shoes, but it is a different reason. It's like these are like durable, high quality, will last you forever. You rebuild them when they break down.
Sure.
Full leather, but it's still that. It's like I've come around to this idea. Still not buying $500 boots.
Yeah.
But maybe eventually.
And so so that would be my advice. But I think the macro conversation is don't anchor your identity in things to define your status. Anchor your identity in Jesus, and then go and solve people's problems. You know what I mean? Solve people's problems, and that's how you make advancements if you want to make advancements. And as you pointed out earlier, skill acquisition.
Yeah.
Make your investment into skills, into things that are going to improve who you are as a person versus being a consumer. Like be a creator before you're a consumer. Hey, thank you so much for watching that video. Listen, I believe one of the best ways to build any business or any venture is to build your own online presence, specifically through the platform of YouTube. That's what we've been able to do. So if you would like to see a free training put together by our COO, Zach Sparazzo, on the #1 ingredient and the step needed to begin to build your own online platform, make sure to hit the pinned comment below and sign up for our weekly email list, where we'll get that to you right away. And I'll be sending you different emails about lessons I'm learning in real time, doing everything that we're doing here at Kingstream Entertainment. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.